Fags, this is a really unique opportunity for the club, having never finished top of the table. Is that a goal?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that we're aware of it, but we haven't spent any great amount of time talking about it. Yeah, but if we could finish on top, we'd be rapt to do that. So, it's not completely in our hands, because if Port Adelaide beat Collingwood, then it doesn't matter what we do. But we'd like to put ourselves in with a chance to do that.
I mean, how much does it matter? I mean, top two is obviously such a goal, but what does a minor premiership mean? Does it mean anything really?
Oh well, if a club hasn't done it before, it's a great thing to do. So we're on about trying to achieve different milestones as we go along as a footy club. So if we could do that, we'd be excited to do it.
You've locked up that top two, Fags. Have you got any concern, without anything tangible to play for, that there might be that 2% drop off in intensity?
No, because we want to go into the finals in good form. That's really important to us. We had a good chat about that just now, and I didn't detect any players that weren't of the same mindset as the coach. So last year Brisbane beat us in this final game, and not that we played poorly that day, but you'd rather just go in with momentum if you can. It's not the be all and end all if you can't, but you'd rather go in with momentum if you can.
Did you feel like that Tigers loss last year did take a little bit of steam out of the team going into the finals?
No, not really. We just we played particularly well in that Richmond final. We started like a house on fire and didn't quite convert all the chances that we created, so we weren't able to get enough scoreboard pressure on them. But that's history now. We move on.
When you say form, is it winning form, or do you want to see a foot on the throat, ruthless?
No, it's playing out the game the way we want to play it. On offence, on defence, on our contested ball, on our trademark. It's just we want it to be a strong Lions brand game.
The Blues have a lot of talent in the midfield as well. Paddy Cripps is an absolute ball. What's the strategy for containing him, but also their midfield?
You want me to tell the strategy of how we're going to contain Paddy Cripps?
Is there a strategy?
There's always a strategy. There's usually more than one. There's lots of different plans. So, look, Carlton are a team that have had their ladder position probably doesn't tell the true story of their season. If you actually look at quarters one, I think they're about fourth best team in the comp. So they've been able to win a lot of quarters of football this year, and we know that they're a really dangerous side. So we're prepared for their best. They've got one of their all-time greats playing 342nd and last game tomorrow in Cade Simpson. He's been an ornament to the game. He's a player that we really respect, and we know that they're going to come out and play hard for him. So it's going to be a tough game tomorrow night for sure.
Just on Cripps, did you learn anything from last year's encounter with them? Because you can't say anyone single-handedly does it, but he was the driving force behind defeating you guys last year in the middle of the season.
Yeah, he was, and so we give him the respect that he deserves coming into this game. There's no doubt about that. And we contributed to our own demise that day a little bit, but again, that's a long time ago. That's over 12 months ago. So things are different now, and but it's not different with Paddy Cripps. He's still a very good player, so we do respect him.
It must have felt luxurious this week, having such a nice long break.
6 days, yeah. That's usually a short break. That's when you're usually going, oh geez, we've got a short break this week. Yeah, it went pretty quickly. We didn't get back from Cairns until sort of late on. Well, it was early on Monday morning. I think we all got home about 2 a.m. So it still felt like a relatively short week. We've had a good training session yesterday, which is something we haven't been able to do for a couple of weeks, and we think we're in good shape for the game.
What do you do team-wise? Who comes in?
We haven't finalised that yet, but certainly Steph Martin's available this week. Brandon Starcevic is available this week, and Lincoln McCarthy is back available, and we've got some guys with good form in the twos. We'll probably keep Jared Berry out until the first round of the finals. He could have played, but we'll just go low-risk strategy with him.
Geez, you'd be tempted to give Steph a run.
Yeah, well, we've got a reserves game as well, so we can get a run in that if we want to play him there. So it's one of those decisions you have to make. Do you give him a taste of AFL footy and coming into the finals, or do you go for a lower key approach? So we've got a little bit more talking to do about that.
Does it seems like he's really relished the opportunity to step up and be the number one ruckman. Do you think when Steph comes back together and they work together as a duo, that will really elevate your game? You've got two guys who have gotten to another level.
I think so. I felt like over the past 2 years we've played our really best football when the two of those guys are in the team. Oscar's a very handy forward as well. Yeah, we look forward to combination getting back together at some point in time over the next few weeks.
Are there any boys of the regulars that you're looking at possibly giving a rest to, or do you reckon that 16 may have helped you in that regard?
I don't think so, because we've got a week off anyway next week, and that's too long off. You prefer most of your guys to be playing this weekend if they can. So that'll be our approach.
Will Lockie Neal be primed for a big one? Have you guys spoken about his Brownlow push inside the 4?
No, we don't talk about individual awards, and Lockie Neal doesn't need any motivation to play good footy. He's self-motivated and wants to be the best he can be in every game. So that'll be no different tomorrow. But no, we're not in the business of trying to help guys win Brownlow medals. We're in the business of winning games of footy.
Chris has been talking about the dew at the Gabba at night and teams training with the soapy, Sharons. What do you think? And do you have an advantage because you're sort of used to it?
Oh, well, as I've said about our advantage, it used to be an advantage, but those teams have been playing up here all year in those conditions, so you think they'd be accustomed to it by now. So I'm not assuming it's an advantage to us at all.
And do you think it affects games in terms of low scoring? There's been some fears about that.
It does. I mean, it was like last week when it rained up in Cairns. It made the game more difficult because it is harder to pick the ball up cleanly. So it's only natural that the game slows down a bit and there's more tackles and more congestion. So, but that's been the case ever since the game began. I think not just this year and up here. It's a fact of football life.